Yay! Okay, cool. We're on. All right, guys. All right. So, I was sorry, guys. You were at Facebook and so forth. I was like trying to figure out because I had to like update. You know, like every freaking few weeks I have to update the app, and it doesn't work right if I don't update it. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. I was just saying that I just been pulling my energy back and then focusing on like priorities. Just because sometimes whenever we feel overwhelmed or we feel like there's just way too much going on, and then you're not getting enough of your like focuses done, you at some point have to acknowledge that you're only one person and you only have so much energy in a day, which is what my podcast episode is about that just went out. I think it went out today or went out a few days ago. Anyways, check it out. But you can check it out and I go into more detail. But sometimes you have to pull your energy back. You can't keeping up with all these other dynamic responsibilities and just things that you want to stay connected to. Sometimes you just have to drop some things off your plate and then recenter, refocus, and then just like throw yourself into what you need to be more focused on. So getting back to you guys, let me scroll through here. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So, hey, for those of you who are new, welcome to my Wednesday night live event. I do a free live every Wednesday and every Friday. It's about an hour or so, and then after the live, I do a study group on each of those days as well. And so tonight, our study group is about a New Earth, Eckhart Tolle, a New Earth. That's after this. Right now we're doing readings, so y'all can ask whatever y'all want to ask me about. So we're not there yet. So you can go ahead and ask whatever questions you want to ask me about. So if you're going to ask me a question about your life or a situation, be specific about it or be clear. Don't be vague or general, because general questions, vague questions, I just don't even have time to mess around with you. I have to know what you're asking me first. And if you're just asking vague questions, assuming that I can read your mind, you're just wasting your own damn time. So just put your question and be specific, and then I will try to get to as many of you as I can. If you're asking me about a loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect with? And I will try to make that connection with that person and bring through any information that can help you to feel or to know that they are with you. If you want the best way to do those types of readings, a lot of mediums don't do these events or these types of lives just because they're very intimidated by being on camera and also making mistakes. I am perfectly fine looking like a damn fool, because as long as I can still do it and as long as I'm still able to connect with enough of you, that's all that really matters to me, so I don't care. But if you want to connect with a loved one in spirit, I will try to get you any information or a message from them. But it's much better to do it with video, just because sometimes people don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I need to kind of understand that they don't know what I'm talking about. I always assume people know what I'm talking about, so whenever someone doesn't understand or they aren't connecting the dots, I have to ask them for clarity so that I can kind of get more information or get more to help you understand what they're talking about. Sometimes we get there, sometimes you don't, and then people figure it out after the live is over with. So for those of you wanting to connect with loved ones in spirit, again, just let me know who you want to connect with, and I will try to connect and bring through any information for you. You can go to my website. It's the best way to get a hold of me, anything that I do. So fernandomorone.com is my website. People will inevitably like to, they will either email or they will direct message. They'll call trying to book appointments or just trying to ask about information. Like, it's all automated, so it's easy for y'all. So just go to the website, because everything is handled through the website. I don't direct message or private message anybody and offering them readings. So if y'all experience or encounter anyone who has my picture and looks like my name right there, my name's right there, Ferny ESP, not Ferny ESP with a little like underscore or a line or any other excess stuff. It's just Ferny ESP right there. I've already requested from Instagram to give me my little check mark, and this is like my 5th or 6th time trying to get one. They haven't given it to me yet, and so we're dealing with imposters and people running around pretending to be me. So they're going around duplicating my page, and then they make their page look just like mine, and then they're direct messaging or private messaging people, offering readings to them, and they don't even sound like me. They're like, hello my beloved, I've been drawn to you. I'm like, who the hell I don't even talk like that. Like, why would people even think that that's me? But they're approaching people and they're offering them readings, and then they are asking them to pay them, and they're asking them for like $70 or $100 or whatever, and people are falling for it. Even though on my actual, if you go to my Instagram, on my bio, it says I do not private message you and ask for money or offer readings. Everything has to be to the website. Even though I have that there, even though I put out notices and I'm letting people know left and right, people still fall for it, or people still think that it's me, even though they know that it says it on my bio. And I'm just like, I just can't help. At that point, I can't help y'all because I made it clear. So just so y'all know, there are trolls running around pretending to be me. It is not me, because I offer readings for free here right now. If you want a private session with me, you have to book it through my site. That's it. Those are the two options. So anything else is not me. Okay? All right. So my podcast is on my website. New podcast episode is out. My free psychic development class is through my website, which is on my YouTube channel. My articles are also through my website on medium.com as well. And then also, what else? I think that's it, right? I think that's all I have on my, my Dear Ferny, my weekly Dear Ferny newsletter also goes out every week. So if you aren't signed up with the newsletter, you should go to my website and sign up, or sign up for my newsletter, because every week I send out an email with a Dear Ferny, a topic, and then I send out stuff that I did that week. So you're always in the know and you know what I put out and everything. And I don't really use that for business. I hate that, because whenever I signed up for people's stuff online, all of a sudden it's like all they do is like every day they're sending me like offer, buy this, buy that. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this to buy shit. Like, I just signed up because I wanted to see if you were going to send us some goodies, like articles or tips or something, and they use it for that. So my newsletter is not designed for that. My newsletter is literally just to give y'all information and to give y'all like access to the stuff I put out. That's it. That's all it is. Then at the very bottom, you can, if you're interested in a booking or private session, you can go to my site or book it through there. But it's all mostly the other stuff. So just so y'all know. I think that's it. Okay, so if you want to be on camera, get your butt over to Instagram, because that's where I'm doing all the video camera stuff. I'll do half a text version or a comment version, and then I'll do the other half video. Hopefully I'll get some video in. So let me jump around here. I'm not going in any particular order, y'all. So, and I do try to pick new people every single time I do this. So I know I have some loyal viewers, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to like not read for you. I just want to make sure that I'm being fair. Also, guys, if you do me a favor, if you can send this video out to people, that would help me out really much, so just because I want to reach as many people as I can. And even though I'm a psychic and a medium and I offer readings, that's my thing, I'm also a spiritual teacher, I'm also a guide, and I also want to give people an opportunity to evolve and grow and so forth. And that's my ultimate mission. So that's what I'm all about. So if you can share your video feed with anybody and everybody, that would help me out so that I can reach more people through my mission in life. Okay? All right, so let's go through this. Katie Rabbit. Hi, does my dad or brother-in-law have any messages for me or my family? Yeah, so first of all, the brother-in-law is interesting, because the brother-in-law, he's doing this. So I don't know if that means that there's a specific necklace that is connected to him that y'all are aware of, or there's been necklaces made in honor of him, but he's doing this. So there's a reference to that. He also keeps it interesting. He's also, he's pointing to the sky and the stars. And normally whenever I think of that can mean a couple of things. One, it could mean that person is either familiar with flying, they know how to fly, or they know how to fly an airplane, or they had work to do with that, or it simply means there's something celestial that they want to get my attention for. So there might be something that has to do with like a celestial event, like astronomy or the planets or the stars. There's something there that he's trying to make reference to. By default, I always think that when I look up at the sky, it's like the stars and shooting stars and star songs, but it also could represent someone who had familiarity with flying in the air or something to do with flying. He also is acknowledging the month of September, which we're in right now, so the month of September is going to be connected. He also keeps acknowledging that there are 2 other males with him who are on the same age range. So your husband or your significant other may have 2 other males who are in spirit, or they may know 2 other males that are on the same page that are there with them as well. The father energy, he's been coming around the kids, or he's been coming around y'all. Y'all may be capturing or in pictures or security responses. That may be him coming around or wanting to let y'all know that he's around y'all. The butterfly is connected to him as well. Okay. Lindsay Barr. Hi, Ferny. Hope you're doing well. Do you have any messages from my grandma Barr? Yeah, the first thing she's acknowledging, she's showing me, I almost feel like I'm seeing white flowers or white petals. They almost look like lilies, like Lily. So either the name Lily is connected, Lilith, Lily, or these white flowers are significant because that's what she's showing me. She also, interesting, she's showing me, okay, she's showing me a coin. I don't know if this is a penny or a nickel, but it might represent like lucky pennies or lucky nickels or pennies from heaven, or a jar of coins that are connected. But that's how I would like to interpret that, because what I'm seeing is, the first thing I saw what reminded me of like a penny, and then I saw a nickel, and then I was thinking of the movie Ghost, where he's trying to, like, you know, there's a special like buffalo nickel, I think, buffalo nickel, yeah, and then the jar. So I'm thinking that that's somehow connected. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She's closing or squeezing my throat. She's also putting my hand over my mouth, which could indicate that there was not the ability to say goodbye, or there wasn't proper communication, or she couldn't speak. And that's what I would associate as that. She's also showing me the number 12. It's either 12 or the 21st, because I saw the 12 and I reversed it as 22-1. So either 12 would be connected, the 12th month, which would be December, or the 12th of a month, or it's the 21st of a month and I'm missing it. But there's a reference to that 2-1 or 1-2 as well. She also keeps acknowledging she's doing this. So there is a ring connection, or there's a reference to a ring, engagement, or marriage that she wants to acknowledge as well. Okay? Blanca, Ferny, I'm going through hard times with love. Will I end my marriage? So as far as the relationship is concerned, the marriage is concerned, I feel like there might be more than one instance where you feel the need to end the marriage, or there's more than one. Yeah, there's one more instance that you may lean towards that, and it may get to a back and forth with you. I do think that things will change in the relationship or marriage, but I'm not seeing any change right now. I'm actually thinking that there won't be any changes to the marriage long term until early 2023. So about another year and a half or so. Around that time is when I think there is a change going on at that point. I'm going to say this is either the person that you're with is going to be a completely different person and settle their butt down by then, which that would resolve some of the issues in the relationship, or they're no longer in the picture. As of right now, I'm kind of leaning towards them no longer being in the picture after that point. So that could indicate that you might find yourself ending the relationship, or the relationship may come to its conclusion around that time frame. Again, that's early, like 2023. So there's a shift that happens there. And this is what I tell people. Oh, by the way, let me go through my thing. My statements are personal opinions, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions you take in your life, you are 100% responsible and liable for. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. A lot of people worry about that. You can change the future if you want to. And lastly, I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. So for legal medical advice or treatment, you should always consult with a licensed professional. Okay, so back to what I was saying. You can change the future. If you want to work on this marriage or work on the relationship, you're probably going to need to put more effort or work into it. However, the problem is I can see you putting work into it and then things settling and then it just kicking back up again and then it becoming an issue. Also, part of the issue that may come up is in-laws or extended family, meaning that there might be a lot of influences or effects from family members on their side that might also contribute or cause more issues for the relationship as well. So that may be something to have to work on as well, okay? Thank you, Lynn. Okay, 10-9. Hi, Ferny. Do you see it better if I get a regular job or try to make something of my video ideas? If not, what industry or position should I apply for? Thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. It's not that what you already have an interest in is a bad thing. I just don't think you're effectively getting anywhere with it. I would suggest just getting a regular basic job, just because I feel like you just need to have money flowing in so that that's not a constant pressure. In other words, if someone has an idea that they want to turn a passion into a job or into a source of income, that's great, but you got to get practical and realistic. And a lot of people have this mindset that if I started my business, it's going to immediately make enough money so that I can live off of. That is rare. It doesn't usually happen. Most people have to have a second job, sometimes even a third job to make that happen. And not only that, but it usually takes a lot of effort and time before something starts to kind of grow or evolve. So a lot of times when you have someone just like brand spanking open a business and they expect it to work, it usually doesn't doesn't happen unless it's like a food business. There's more opportunity for that to work, but it still takes time. I mean, usually it takes 1 to 2 years for a business to kind of root itself or get established. So if you're expecting to play around with the video stuff and thinking that you're going to make enough money to do that, to be able to do that and survive off of, it's just not going to happen. What I would recommend is you just get a job, get that part out of the way so you can have some money flowing in, and then you advance your skill set with your video work. And I would actually suggest that once you get comfortable or confident in that you can do some basic level stuff with it that you can offer to others as a business, then get on one of these sites where you can sign up and you can promote your skills, and then you can start asking. And I also would ask people to just hire you or offer to do some small projects for people, because you can get them to fill out and do reviews, and then that'll help to build you up in that. But you're gonna have to build that up. It's just not gonna turn into something. I don't feel it's a bad path for you, honestly. I actually think it could turn into something really useful for you, but you need to work on actually being practical with it and build it up. Okay. Chloe Walker, hey Ferny, any romance coming my way? Yeah, actually there might be an opportunity for romance in the next month, so not that long from now, so like in the next month or so. The individual, you might actually either get set up with this person or you might meet this person through people that you know. So it feels like it's not, I don't feel like you would, I'm not thinking you would meet this person through like an app. I'm thinking you would meet this person through people that you know. And there's something, by the way, y'all, there's nothing wrong with using apps. I met my partner through the app. I met my partner through gay.com, which was back when we had chat rooms back in the day. So the apps didn't even exist when we first met. But that's where I met most of the guys that I was dating, was through a chat room, and then we met in person. I was too self-conscious to go and meet people in person, or to try to like go to a club and like hit it off with somebody. This wasn't gonna work for me, so I had to like find a different way. And for me, the chat rooms work. But yeah, I think, Chloe, that you might be able to find somebody. You're gonna connect with somebody through a friend or through someone that you know in the next month or so, or just hear about someone, and then I would give it a shot and see where it goes with it. The person, though, I feel like they're either coming out of a divorce or they are divorced, but they have kids from a previous relationship, which might make it complicated. It's weird because I almost feel like the universe is trying to kind of push you or force you into a situation where you have to consider things you said you would not consider, or consider things you're not really wanting to include with any kind of relationship. So I kind of feel like the universe is trying to push you so that you can just kind of be more open or receptive. But the person's name starts with the, it's either a B or a D, but I'm going to lean towards D. Okay. Mindy, I'm trying to enlist in the Army. Do you see any issues coming up that may cause problems with that goal, health or otherwise? No, I don't think so. I think you might be able to get it. What's interesting is even though you're trying to get into the Army, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually have an opportunity to kind of diverge from that once you're done with like basic training stuff. I could see you going into the Peace Corps, or actually going into agency. It's funny because when I think of you, I keep thinking of like NCIS, and I keep thinking of like the FBI and CIA, and I keep thinking of those kinds of things. I'm not really thinking of like traditional military or Army. So I'm thinking that you might get your foot in the door and then decide to kind of go in a little bit of a different direction, which I think would be fine for you. Just because I see you, and the reason why I'm thinking that is because I'm seeing you dressed up, looking good, and then you got your like holster with your gun, and you got your badge, and so you're like ready to pop someone if they're gonna mouth off on you. So it's like, okay. And Connor, Ferny, will my old car work for my son, or will we have to get him a new car? Thanks. So I feel like y'all are gonna fix or replace a part that temporarily it will work, or it might work for the moment. But I feel like there's two things with it that actually have to be fixed. And if you can fix both of those things, then I think that would work. However, it does feel costly. And it might just be more cost effective to actually just get a new vehicle. What I think will happen is y'all will fix that part, or the part that may need to. It's been because, whenever, it's not a is it a transmission? I'm not. I think the transmission has some issue. No, yeah. It's not the transmission. It might be the radiator. The radiator might have some issues, but that's not the part y'all may have to fix. The part that y'all may have to fix is the when I turn the key and then it gets it to kick into gear. I forgot what that part's called, but that's, you know, that part. I don't know, whatever that thing does. That might need to be adjusted or replaced, and then also pay attention to the radiator, because the radiator may need some support as well. So if there's leaks or if there's a burnout, that would be because of the radiator. So keep an eye on the radiator. However, if you fix both of those things, I don't think you would have to technically get a new vehicle. But what I think ends up happening is that y'all fix one part, and then a little while later, it just kinks out or starts to have issues again, and y'all just decide to do a new vehicle. So I'm thinking y'all will end up getting a new vehicle for him in December or in January. Okay? Y'all were planning on doing it as a surprise for Christmas, so like, okay, well, I messed that up. I messed that surprise up. So just FYI. Vonda, hi Ferny, anything from my husband? Yeah, he's kind of singing. So he's kind of singing to you, which is funny. And I don't know if it's like if it's meant as like a joke or it's meant like as a love song, but he's like singing to you. He also keeps thank you. He also keeps acknowledging. He's giving me the name Teddy or Ted. So there might be a Ted or Thad name reference that he's acknowledging. Either they're with him or there's someone alive that he wants to say hi to as well. He also is showing me the number 15th. But the 15th of a month may be significant. It's funny because I saw May 1st and I was like, okay, am I looking at a 5? And then I saw the like numbers changing. So I want to say this is the 15th. So I'm going to say the 15th is connected as well because he's making reference to that as well. He also keeps acknowledging thank you. If you have a funny thing happen where like movies or DVDs fall off the wall, the wall of the shelf, or if you find DVDs or movies in places, that might be him trying to let you know he's around you, because he's like moving the DVDs around or he's messing with stuff. So I'm thinking that's what he's trying to say. Either that or you were just completely changing that today and he's letting you know he was with you while you were doing that. But there's a reference to that as well. Okay, let's go over here. Wendy, hey Ferny, anything with my health? Two things. One is I do want you to keep an eye on your digestive system because your digestive system might need a little bit of a boost. I kind of feel like you're not producing enough digestive enzymes or the pH balance for your gut's off. So I feel like something's a little bit off there. Another thing that I also want you to keep an eye on is your reproductive system, because there might be some weird anomalies with your reproductive system, but it feels like that would be easily addressed or you could easily resolve that. So I'm feeling like that is something that could be easily resolved. But the gut stuff might trigger the gut stuff is the thing that I think you need to pay more attention to, because it feels like that may trigger all kinds of weird symptoms or things going on in your body, and you may think that you have one issue going on when in fact it may actually be something connected to your digestive system. So just be aware of that. Okay. Nijikaro. I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, please excuse me. Hi, Ferny. Will I get a positive change in my life, job, or should I leave? So first of all, I can't tell you what to do, so I can't tell you whether you should or shouldn't go. You got to make a decision. It's not my place to tell people what to do. However, I get a feeling that you're going to end up leaving. So I think that you'll probably leave before the year's over with, or by January. Okay. Mackenzie, could be my soulmate or twin flame. People, get rid of the twin flame soulmate obsessiveness, because most people are not born with their soulmates or have a soulmate in a lifetime. If you had a soulmate born with you, you would never get out of bed. You would literally be stuck with people all the time. And I know some people don't like to hear that. People disagree with me. They're like, you don't know what you're talking about. I know all about twin flames, and I know all about soulmate. I'm like, if you know about it, then you should be able to tell me your personal experience with it. Don't just tell me you know, because you don't know. You're just hoping that really exists, even though it actually is not a thing. So there is such a thing as a soulmate and the idea of a twin flame, but most people have it completely confused in their head. Most people are going to be born with opportunities to experience love or relationship, period. The idea of everybody's born and is going to meet the one or have the opportunity to meet the one, that is a Disney movie that we all bought into as kids because we had nothing better to do except sing with the princesses on TV, whole new world, like that's where we were. And so the idea of a soulmate is going to kill your opportunity to actually get into a stable or realistic relationship. And most people say no to really good relationships because they have it in their head that they're supposed to meet the one. I'm waiting for the one. Where is the one? God, why haven't you sent the one? Where is the one? Why are you punishing me because I haven't had to, get over it? Get the hell over it. With that being said, let me come back to your question because I want to give you an answer to your question. Could B be, and I'm going to reword it, could B be a potential long-term relationship that could go on? Yes, B could be a long-term potential relationship that could go on. Is B a healthy relationship that could go on? I don't feel as confident about that. So I would say the potential for a long-term relationship is there with B. I just don't feel as confident about a healthy long-term relationship. So there might be some issues to have to work through. If you start to notice personality changes or personality shifts this year, I would say steer clear, just because I don't feel like it would be the best path for you, but it's your decision, it's your choice. But does he have the potential? Does B have the potential? I'm assuming you're straight. Does B have the potential for a long-term serious relationship that could give you what you're looking for, the experience of love that you're looking for? Yes, absolutely. I just don't feel confident about it, just because I don't feel it. Sometimes these intense connections can really throw us through a loop. And I feel like this individual might have to work on some things before you can take it to that next level. Okay, so keep your eyes open for that. Here's another one. LOL AJ Pretty Girl 19. Hey Ferny, do you see me being in a healthy relationship soon? Now I like that question better, just because it gets us out of this whole frou-frou Disney Channel crap. Those Disney kids that pretend like they were actors and they were not very good at acting. But I know what you're talking about. Okay, so healthy relationship. Do I see a healthy relationship for you soon? I feel like you're gonna have to make a decision, because I feel like I'm not thinking that this is right now or this year, but around July or August of next year, 2022. I feel like there's someone who's kind of in your orbit, meaning somebody who you've been talking to or just been somehow involved with, but it doesn't feel consistent. So there might be somebody that you're having to deal with, or someone you're going back and forth on at that time. There's always there's my husband, there's my boyfriend, there's this, there's that, and then there's it's complicated. It feels like it's complicated. That's how I would describe that. So there's one person that's kind of in your orbit. There's another person that pops into the picture that is a complete separate type of energy. That person, I think you would probably meet through a work or job situation. I also think that the person's first name starts with also with a D. So it's D-I or D-E sounding name starting off with. I feel like you'll meet the person, you'll connect to them from your job or from the work situation at that time. They're also involved with someone, so it might be complicated, but I kind of feel like that relationship that they're in is gonna not stick, and so you may find yourself having feelings or having crushing on this person, but not moving on it just because they're involved with somebody. But if you're patient, towards the end of next year, 2022, towards the end of the year, I feel like that relationship would be done and they might be available. Okay, and that feels like that would be a potential opportunity for a healthy relationship. Ignition starter. Yes, Miso, ignition starter. Well, it's not the starter itself, it's the actual component in the engine. That's my biggest issue is words are there and I'm what is that word? What is that word? It is the not the compressor, that's an AC unit. It's not the ignition starter, it's the thing in the actual engine that has to turn to start the engine going. If that makes any sense. So hopefully, not the starter. No, not the starter. It's the starter. No, I don't. It's not the starter. It's the it'll come to me, right? It'll come to me. Princess Lime Tree. Ferny, do you see me being alone the rest of my life? No, I don't see you being alone for the rest of your life. However, I do think you need to work on being vulnerable and open, just because I think there's a lot of fear and anxiety, especially when it comes to relationships, new connections, people in general. And I think you need to get more comfortable with standing up for yourself and just being more consistent with your communication, but then also letting people in. You're not going to know what you like until you let people in. It's almost like my sister. The way I think of you with relationships or with new connections is like my sister, where years ago, you know, when she was younger, I loved sushi. I still love sushi. And I would tell her, like, hey, like, you should try this. You like it. She's like, she got mad at me. And also Indian food, because I love Indian food. But she was like, stop trying to force me to try new things. You're always trying to force me to change. I'm like, I'm just trying to introduce you to something new. You might like it. You're a foodie. I mean, you like eating, so I think you'll like this. And now she's like a sushi nut. And then whenever we get together, we usually eat Indian food together. So it's either one or the other. But it took her a while, but she opened up and had a new experience, and it actually changed everything for her. So for you, I would say is you got to get out of your head with expectations and with preferences and with what you are attracted to or drawn to. So you need to get out of your head about that. You need to be more open to different experiences that don't qualify in your list of things you would prefer or like. And then also you need to be more vulnerable and open to experiences. You're not going to get a guarantee that every single time you date somebody or get involved with somebody that it's going to work or that they're not going to hurt you. People are just people, and you're going to have experiences, but you need to just put yourself out there and practice. If you're not even willing to practice, then you're never going to run the race. You're never going to get to the finish line. So you just need to be willing to practice. And sometimes just dating, even if it doesn't work out, is good, because it opens you up and it makes you more receptive to new energies. And so you need to work on that. But to answer your question, I do think that you will end up in a relationship. It might take 2 years to kind of link up or sync up with the right person that might work for you. Person's name starts with the J-O. I keep thinking of Jordan, but it could be something similar. So it might be something very similar to like the name Jordy, Jor. So I'm assuming you're straight. If you're not, apply that name to a female's name. But I'm seeing like a J-O-R sounding name. It reminds me of like a Jordan. Okay. Let me bring somebody on. Shall we? Let's go here. Let's see. I just have to fix my camera. Put on the volume so I can hear. Let's see. Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing,
Hi.
sweetheart? Oh,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. All right, darling. What did you want to ask me about?
Well, I recently lost my husband, and I was wondering if there might be a message from him, possibly. And then also if he thinks I should
Yeah.
continue
So
building the house that we were building together.
yeah. So first of all, it's funny because he's knocking on wood or knocking on the door. So if you ever have knocking on the wood or knocking on the doors, or someone as if they're trying to like knock on the door, that's him. He's been coming around or just trying to get y'all's attention. I asked him about the house and he's giving me a thumbs up, but he's like, you don't have to live in it. You can just sell it. And so it's almost like you might actually be able to make more money by finishing it up and then selling it if you don't want to live there. So he's making me feel like it's okay what you decide to do, but he still thinks it's a good idea to get it built or to get it done. So it's your decision whether you want to or not. Don't let them push you or force you. Just because I'm like, y'all are up there, y'all have it easy. We have to make the decisions and deal with the consequences. So, but he's making me feel like it's okay. He also is acknowledging the number 11.
Okay.
Do you know if November the 11th of a month is connected?
Yes.
Okay, because he's making reference to
It's my
that.
birthday.
He's also acknowledging. Got it. So he's probably wishing you a birthday, and since we're not that far from that, he's probably wishing you a birthday. He says that he's going to find a way to get you flowers or a rose for your birthday. So to look out or to keep an open heart and open mind, because you might unintentionally receive a gift of flowers. And he says it's going to be from him. Doesn't matter who gives them to you. He's owning up to him giving them to you. So he's acknowledging that. He also is acknowledging, it's going to sound weird. Do you have crystals?
Do I have crystals?
Do you have
Uh,
crystals or a piece of jewelry with a crystal in it?
yes.
Okay, so he's showing me that. Have you been? It's gonna sound weird. Have you been trying to like meditate or try to like talk to him in meditation or trying to like do these like? I want to call it a prayer meditation because it feels very similar.
Yes.
Okay, because he's like he knows what you've been trying to do, so he says that he's aware of what you've been trying to communicate across to him. He also says that he's been laying down with you almost every single night, and he says that the bed is getting crowded. So, has someone else been sleeping with you as well?
Um, well, I've had, friends over not sleeping in the bed, but more of the animals have been crawling in the bed. So yes, it's
Perfect.
crowded.
He's just acknowledging it's getting crowded. So he's laughing about that and is acknowledging that it's getting crowded. He also says thank you. Is there a Jeff or a Jeffrey or a J.E. name reference?
Just as a friend, like a coworker.
Is it a female? I'm sorry, female. Is it a male?
Yeah, male coworker.
Okay. Do you know if your friend lost an older female recently as well?
Not sure on
Okay.
that.
That's okay. I'll leave this with you. There's an older female with your husband, and he's bringing up that J.E. name or Jeffrey sounding name. So if it's the friend, there might be a female who's passed or recently passed that he's trying to let you know, to let the friend know that that person's there as well. Your husband is showing me 2 rings. Do you wear 2 rings together or have 2 rings together?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, because he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging. Do you know if your husband had a habit of pinching your skin or wanting to pinch you?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, he's squeezing my skin or pinching my skin, and I'm trying to figure out where he's going with this. So he's pinching my skin. He's also acknowledging discoloration or weird coloring. Question, before your husband passed, do you know if he was having these weird marks on his skin or he's having discoloration of his skin?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, because he's acknowledging that the skin discoloration. Do you also know? Thank you. It's funny because he's pointing to his chest, but he's also showing me the liver. Do you also know if his liver or kidneys were also giving him some issues?
Not that I know of. I'm trying to get the records.
Okay, because he's showing me like it's almost as if when your body's trying to process out toxins and it's just not happening and it's just starting to kind of create a little bit of a sepsis. He's also pointing to my heart. Do you know if he also had a cardiac event?
He did not, that I'm aware of. No.
He's doing something. He's like showing me what's going on in my blood and something being contaminated or something building up, and he's bringing it to my heart as well. So there's something there that he's trying to connect for me so that I can understand where he's going with this. But there's something about that. He's sticking with it. There's something, I feel like I need to filter something out of my system. Do you know if there was any attempts to try to filter something out of his system or filter his system out?
No, not that I know of. I mean, I've just speculated there was more going on that the doctors weren't aware of. So I'm trying to get the copies of his labs.
Okay, so here's what I would say. When you get the copies of what they give you, pay attention to see if there was any weird anomalies with the liver, with the kidneys, and also if his heart began to react or respond in some way. Because he's making me feel as if there was a buildup in his system, and there was almost like such a buildup that it was starting to kind of like trigger other issues or events in his system. But he's like building something up in my system as if there's something building up, and it's not getting any better. And then normally the system would filter it out through the liver or through the kidneys. He's like making me feel like something was not doing what it was supposed to be doing. He also says, do you remember if he kept talking about feeling dizzy or he was feeling pressure in his head?
No, he didn't tell me that in those words specifically that I recall.
Okay, because he's making me feel like he was feeling kind of fuzzy before this happened, and he also makes me feel like he felt a little bit, it's almost like drowsy, like when you feel sleepy or drowsy or like you can't like just like snap out. It's like he's making me feel a little bit weird in that way as well. Did you have to drag him to the doctor?
I was trying to. Yes.
Okay.
I was emailing our doctor saying that I felt like something wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
And they were calling him to make an appointment, but he didn't answer the phone.
He's a stubborn man. And so he's like not, he's, first of all, he doesn't want to blame you for what was going on with him. He also says he knew damn well he didn't feel right, but he was just being stubborn and he didn't want to go to the hospital or didn't want to go to the doctor. She said that's just basically what he's apologizing for. He doesn't want you to feel like you should have like knocked him out and dragged him there, or you should have called him out. He says there's nothing you could have done. I was going to do what I was always going to do, which was I was going to be stubborn. So he doesn't want you to feel guilty or to feel like you could have prevented this from happening. He says if anyone's to blame, he says it's him. He blames himself. So he wants you to understand that. He also says, thank you. White doves are going to be a sign. So look out for white doves and pigeons that are white, because he says that those are going to be signs from him.
Okay.
Okay, sweetheart? He's with you, sweetheart. He's with you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, darling. You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
All right, baby girl. I can totally relate just because my partner is real stubborn as well, and I know that like something was wrong. My partner would want to go, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna like knock you out. I will knock you out because I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna go through that. But I understand that because sometimes people just don't want to go. They don't want to go and check themselves out, which I understand. Okay, let's go here. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
So lately I've been feeling kind of really unmotivated, and actually very, very irritable. Like I feel myself kind of lashing out at my kids and
Mm-hmm.
not really wanting to work. And I was just wondering if my mom has any messages that might help in
Mm-hmm.
that regard, or I don't know. I just feel really heavy.
Yeah. So some of this is you, some of this is not you. First of all, I do think you're suffering from depression. I also think that your pituitary gland is struggling, which is a part of the body that regulates some of these hormones. And so I do think that you probably should follow up with a doctor just to see if you need to take anything for a little while, just until you start to feel back to normal. But I also feel like you might be not eating enough things that your body needs, and so you might just be either not taking in enough nutrients, or you might be deficient in something, so it might be leading to this as well. The other part of this is you're picking up on world stuff. Like the world is a chaotic place, it's a mess, and if you care enough about people in the world, you would drive yourself crazy at this point if you pay attention to anything outside of yourself. So it's not an easy thing to do, and I think right now, because you're just sensitive to that overshadowing of energy, anything in your immediate life, whether it's your kids needing you or other family members needing you, responsibilities, it's just going to feel like too much extra, and you're going to start to feel yourself retreating and just wanting to like spend all day in bed or spend all day away from everybody. It is okay to feel this way. You're not the only person going through this, but you're going to need some help to get out of this, because this isn't going to just go away by itself. You're going to have to kind of reconnect with a part of yourself. But what I'm telling you is give yourself permission to feel this way for a while. It's okay as long as you're aware and self-aware that you're going through this, because sometimes you just need to go through what you need to go through. I do think that you will feel better before the holidays. So I do think by the holidays you'll start to feel a little bit better. You'll start to feel this kind of lifting. You said you wanted to ask, you talked to mom? Mom just said happy birthday. Are we within 30 days of a birthday for you or the kids?
Yeah, my daughter just had a birthday August 30th.
Got it. She's acknowledging the birthday, so she wants to wish her a happy birthday. She also keeps thank you. She also keeps acknowledging. Is there a picture of your mom in water or in a pool? She would have been younger, I want to say. Might have been when you were young.
I'm not sure. She
Okay.
was like definitely afraid of water.
Well, this is what she showed me. She showed me an image, and I feel like I'm in water.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm seeing, and this, I feel like I want to go back in time, because it feels like this is not any, it's the weirdest thing, because it feels like this is back in time, and I'm going back in time, and I'm seeing a picture. There is a picture of her in water. Even though she was deathly afraid of water, this would be like a kiddie pool or something. This is a picture of her in water, because she's making me feel like there's an image of her. She might even be wearing like a bathing suit or something, but she's like in water. It may not be that deep, but she's in water, because she's showing me an image of her water. And it would be, there's 2 kids around her. Do you have a sibling?
I have an older brother.
Okay, so there's 2 of you. So then she's acknowledging this image of y'all 2. So there's an image there. Um, so, okay, she's trying to give me a name. So, Ciel or C. I almost want to say it's like Sierra or Selena or Serena or. Do you know there's a name that sounds like that that's connected?
To me or to her?
I don't know. I first thought I was thinking of my cousin's daughter's name, which was Sierra. So that's her name. But then she also has a daughter named Cecily. So I was trying to figure out where she was going with this. It's either like a Sierra or Cecily or CC sounding name. Do you know there's a name or connection to that name?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Were you in like dance or do you plays when you were in school?
Yes.
Okay, that name is somehow connected to that. So there might be someone that's connected to that who's got a name like that, who's in spirit, that your mom is trying to acknowledge who's with her. So there's a female that's connected to that in some way because your mom is acknowledging this name and bringing up that memory for me. So that's how I would attach it or connect it together. So there's a reference there. She's also shown me 5. So do you know if the month of May or the 5th of a month is connected?
My birthday is in May.
Got it. So she's acknowledging your birthday. She's also acknowledging, thank you. Do you also know there's another date in May or right at the end of April?
Well, our whole family has a lot of May birthdays.
Okay, so there's another date of significance that she's bringing up that has to do with either right at the beginning of May or right at the end of April, because she's showing me that and she's highlighting it or circling it. She's also giving me a thumbs up, and then she's showing me something that like a certification or a certificate. So this to me would indicate like someone getting a certification or getting like an award. So there's something that she may want to highlight that someone may have gotten this year or around that time, because she's like circling it for some reason. So there's a reference to that as well. So I would say either someone got awarded something, got an achievement, or got something done, and that's an important date as well. So there's a reference to that. Is how I want to put it. Your mom is also acknowledging that she's doing this. Do you have a bracelet or a watch that's connected to mom?
Yeah.
Okay. She's also acknowledging a. Do you also have I want to say a locket? Do you have like something that's metal that opens up that's kind of like a locket? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mom is with you. She's with you. She says she's proud of you no matter what. So you don't need to be so hard on yourself. She also says that we all have to go through it. She says, I went through the same thing you went through. So she's making me feel like she had to go through a period like this, the way that you're going through it. And she makes me feel like you're going to come out of it. So regardless of how you feel about yourself, she says, you're going to come out of it. She says, because you never just give up. You never just give up. So just FYI, she knows what you're going through, but you need to give yourself a little bit of a break and just kind of let yourself sit through this as best as you can. You may not be able to rush this. You may just have to take it one day at a time. And you definitely, I would highly recommend you to see a doctor because you might need a little bit of help getting through this. Okay? All right, Mama. You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. Okay, nothing there. Let's cancel that. Let's go to somebody else. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome. Would you quite if you start having weird paranormal stuff happening in your house, it may not actually be like a spirit or ghost. It may be you. It may be your energy, and because you might just be going through a lot of hormonal shifts And then also stress anxiety might be kicking up for you. So whenever you are going through a period where it's really intense and then you're not expressing it or releasing it properly, you might start having random stuff happening in your home, and you may not realize what it is and think it's something paranormal. It's actually your energy. It's just short-circuiting stuff or charging stuff.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
You're like, how dare you, mother.
Okay. So it's just, I have a lot of energy going on right now.
Yeah, it's the energy. That's what's going on. So it's kicking up stuff. So if you have like phones or batteries dying or phones acting weird or lights breaking, that's going to be connected.
Okay. Is there anything kind of like going on with my, I guess, do you see anything, any future, any?
With what?
With like me, my husband, perhaps. We're going through a lot of growing right now.
Yeah. As far as like, you mean like as far as the relationship is concerned?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's funny. Yes, sir. I'm not used to sir. I'm used to ma'am. Yeah, with the relationship, y'all are just going through some growing pains. I do think that sometimes people aren't prepared for everything that they take on. And I kind of feel mentally like both of you are not prepared for what you've taken on. So you're going to have to just do the very best to get through it one day at a time. I do think that things will still feel a little bit rocky for the next couple of months, but then something shifts at the end of that 2-month period. And also finances seem to improve or get better, which makes it easier on y'all. And I think finances improving makes it easier for y'all to kind of get along better. But until that happens, there's like just this random, like a lot of extra pressure that doesn't need to be there. And then also you just kind of nitpicking on each other. You're also going to be really sensitive to his energy. And I don't think he realizes how sensitive you become. So you may need to vocalize a little more strategically so he gets where you're coming from. Because I don't think he understands where you're coming from sometimes.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. So anything from my grandmother, perhaps?
Grandma, who's passed?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. She's doing something weird. She's pointing to my lips. Do you know if something happened with her mouth or there was something that affected her with her mouth or her speech?
She had dementia, so she wasn't able to really tell us how she felt anymore, like towards the end.
Okay. Did y'all notice her lips starting to get swollen or having this weird, like, discomfort or weirdness here?
Not really.
Okay. She's doing something interesting because she's like, I feel like I want to speak, but it feels jumbled. Like, and then I also feel my lips are bloated or they feel like they hurt, which is weird. So there's like.
She did, like, I feel like she always wanted to try to communicate with us, but she couldn't because like, towards the end, she was losing all of her function.
Okay. Well, there's something there that she's making reference to, so I'll leave that with you. She's also bringing me a name. Is there a Diana or Dina or Diana or D, female, short, connected to the family?
No.
Okay. There's a D that's in spirit with her. So she's acknowledging a D like a Diana or Dion or Diana. It's got an interesting D name, so there's a reference to a female in spirit who's passed. It's interesting because it doesn't feel like it's family. It feels like it's a contemporary. So this would be like a coworker, someone that would have been in like a work setting, because that's how this female is making me feel. So it's either going to be for you or for your significant other, because I feel like it's got to be close enough to y'all.
We have a Dina in our work circle. So
okay.
Yes.
So you have a Dina in your work circle.
Yes.
Okay. There's a female connected to her who's passed. So this female's got to be connected to her who may have had cancer or breast issue or chest issue. So she's acknowledging this. Your grandmother is also acknowledging the number, thank you, the 22nd or the 20th or the 22nd? 22nd. Do you know the 22nd is connected?
It's my grandfather's birthday.
Got it. So she's just acknowledging your grandfather. Is he still alive?
Yes.
She's wishing him a happy birthday. So she's wanting to wish him a happy birthday. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. She's showing yellow flowers or daisies, so that's going to be a sign or a symbol from her. It could also be sunflowers, but she's making reference to that. She's also acknowledging ladybugs, so look out for ladybugs because that's also going to be a sign or a symbol from her as well. Have you already had one?
Yes.
So she's acknowledging that as well. She also says that she's actually been coming around you a lot, especially when you're like, when you start to like mellow out or you're like calm again, you might pick up on a floral scent that's not within your vicinity. So there's a floral smell that she comes with. She also says she likes to touch your shoulder. So if you have any sensation or tingling here, it may not actually be your body. It may be her trying to like let you know she's with you as well.
Okay. I've had the perfume smell. It randomly comes and I can smell it.
She's coming around you. She's coming around you. There's a baby with her as well she's acknowledging a baby with her. It either could be a baby that's going to be born as well or another baby coming into the family or a baby that was miscarried, lost, or terminated. But I want to lean towards baby that's coming in. Do you know of another baby coming into the family or someone else that's pregnant?
Yes. So that's very unique.
Yeah. So she's aware. So she's just letting y'all know that she knows about the baby coming in as well.
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you so
All
much.
right. You're welcome, sweetheart. Well, you take care of yourself and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye,
Thank
sweetheart. All right, let's see. Let's see. Hello.
Hi. Oh my God.
Hi,
I'm so
sweetheart.
excited.
How you doing?
Okay. Not too good.
Oh, well, what do you want to ask me about, Mama?
Well, my boyfriend just died 2 weeks ago, and
Okay, don't tell me anymore. Let me see if I can get him on here. Okay. He's pointing to himself. Usually, whenever they point to themselves, that usually means that they blame themselves for their own passing, or they put themselves in harm's way. So, do you know if he caused his own passing?
he got into an argument with a security guard, and he got in a fight, and the security guard lost and shot him in the back.
Yeah. So he's blaming himself for the situation. He also says that he was just being. He says, "You're right. I should have worked on my temper. I should have worked on my temper." Because she says, "You told him. You said one of these days you're going to get yourself in trouble. You better work on your temper." He says, "You're right. You're right." So he says, "I'm going to give you that just because." He says he doesn't like seeing you cry. He also says you always cry for everything just to get him to do what you want him to do. So he's almost saying, he's like, you're just trying to get me on board. You're trying to get me to talk to you. That's what you're crying. So he's acknowledging that. He also says you might have an experience with an owl or a fluffy bird like that. So look out for owls or fluffy birds like that. And you might find random, like a pile of feathers in your front door, because he's acknowledging that this is a way he's going to try to communicate with you or come across to you. Oh, let's see. Let me let you unfreeze real quickly. Hold on. Oh. Let's see if you come back. See if it. All right, Mama. I'm gonna try you. I'm gonna hang up on you, and then I'm gonna try to connect back to you. Oh, she hung up on me. Okay, let me try to come back. Her phone might have gone off. That's probably what happened. Let me try you again. I'm gonna see if I can find your thing here, because there you are. Let me try you again.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. It's like, oh my goodness. It's like he was really wanting to talk. Okay, so he's acknowledging. Okay, got it. You might find feathers in like your front door. That's going to be also from him as well. So just FYI with that also.
I found a feather on my door, on my car door today.
Perfect. That's his sign to you. So he's letting you know about that. He also says he's sorry about the ring and the two times or the two rings. You know, he tried to give you a ring twice, or he gave you one ring and then something happened and he gave you another one, or he tried to give you a second one.
I bought him a ring, and I asked him about it the day before he passed.
Okay. So he's apologizing about the ring. So I don't know what that means, because he said, "I'm sorry about the ring." So I'm assuming you'll know what that means, because he said, "I'm sorry about the ring." So he's making reference to that.
Yes, I bought him a ring, and I asked his daughter about it, if I could get it back to remember him by, and nobody knows where it's at. But he had told me before he passed that he left it where he was living, and when he was buried in a jersey I bought him.
Got it. So he's apologizing about the ring, so he's letting you know about that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Do you have two hats or caps that belong to him?
No, his kids do.
Okay, he showed me two caps or hats that he's wanting to make reference to. There might even, no. There's a picture of both of you wearing caps, and you're like somewhere. And he's talking about the picture with you two and the caps on.
It might be like winter caps, because I saw a picture of both of us with like winter hats on, like, you know.
Okay, because he's showing me a picture with you two both wearing hats or caps. So this is a significant or lovely picture is how he's putting it. He's laughing. He's like, "I would never say lovely." I'm like, okay, well, he's like a smart ass. He's like a.
He is funny.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. I'm smelling smoke. Was he a smoker?
Was he what?
I'm smelling smoke. Was he a smoker?
He was a smoker.
Okay, so he's making that smell. Sometimes when he comes around, you're going to smell that smoke as well. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's apologizing also about the borrowed money. Did you loan him some money?
No, he was lending. He was helping me with money, and I'm like doing bad financially.
Okay, right. He's apologizing about the borrowing of the money or the loaning of the money. And now, if you're struggling or you're having to keep up, he's probably apologizing that now he can't help you or now he can't do that. He says that, okay. He doesn't want you to have it out or to get involved with issues with an ex.
So
make sure you avoid the situation, because the next might try to pop back in or try to say some stuff, and she's like, just he doesn't want you getting involved. So he's making reference to that as well. He's also talking about 3 tattoos, but one of them might not be done yet. Do you know if there are 3 tattoos connected to him, or if someone is planning on getting a tattoo and then there's 2 others that are connected?
We had matching tattoos, me and him.
Okay, so that's the 2 tattoos. And then are you planning on getting another one because of him after this?
I am planning on it, yeah.
Perfect. So he's acknowledging the 2 tattoos that already exist and then the one that's going to be done. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Just give me a J name. Is there a Joe or JR?
No, I don't know.
Joey, Joseph.
My brother,
Jojo.
My brother, Jojo, that's my brother.
Okay. He says to say hello to Jojo. Do you know if Jojo said he had a dream about him or he thought he heard something?
Not yet. He's in prison, so.
Okay. He says to tell your brother, first of all, he says to tell your brother hi. He also says to tell him that he came to visit him or came to show up there to see him, and he might have had an experience. So the next time you talk to him, to ask him about that as well, because he's making reference to that. He also says he wants to take this moment because he says he may not get this opportunity again. He wants to apologize to you because he says that he should have been better to you, and he says that he screwed up a lot and that you still put up with his bullshit. So he wants to say thank you for that. He also says he feels like you're the only person that still put up with his bullshit and never stopped loving him. And he says he appreciates the amount of love that you had for him, but he also says he told you before that he felt you deserve better. He says now you're going to get a chance to have another experience. He says when you're ready, it's okay. But he says, I love you, but he says he couldn't be the man that you wanted him to be. He says he wasn't there yet, and he didn't know if he was going to become that person. He also says he's sorry that he wasn't always honest about everything. He just didn't want to upset you or hurt you. And so he didn't want to make things worse. He also says he didn't want to lose you, and he had a big fear of that. He actually, did he have a problem being, was he like the jealous type where he would get real jealous or he didn't like you around?
He would always go through my phone. Yeah, we were always.
He's like a bit of an obsessed. Yeah, he's apologizing because he says he didn't think he was good enough for you. He also thought that one day you were going to figure out that he was like an imposter and you were going to just leave him. And that's why he would get like controlling, because he didn't want you to leave. And so he says he's sorry if he ever was like that with you, but he says you deserve better. And he is sorry that he could not be the man you wanted him to be before he was gone. But he says, this is why we get second chances. This is why we get other chances. He also says that if you have like stuffed animals or stuff that start to move or show up in different spots that they were put in, that's him as well. So just to be aware of that, okay?
Weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. It's like, you know, when you watch those like haunted shows and you got the freaking monitos in the middle of the room, like, what the hell is that? Yeah. I don't think he's gonna go that far, but if like you have your like a stuffed animal on a cabinet drawer or whatever, and it ends up on your bed, that's from him. Just so you know.
I don't know if it's stuffed animal, but I did a necklace that he bought me. I put it over the sink, and when I got home a few minutes ago, it was on the bottom of the sink. So I don't know if that was.
No, this is like a little stuffed animal or a little monito type thing. Okay. All right, Mama. You take care of yourself. He's okay, sweetheart, but you're still here.
Is he with his mom? His mom passed away when he was.
I'm gonna say yes because a few moments ago, and I didn't mention it. He had mentioned say hi to mom for me. I thought he was saying say hi to mom, and I thought he was talking about your mom. And then it passed too fast, so I didn't catch it. But maybe that's what he was going with that. But I'm asking him now again. He's giving me a thumbs up, so he says yes.
Awesome.
So, yeah, he also says he got a chance to apologize to her, so he's happy about that.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, you're welcome, sweetheart.
It means so much to me.
You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mama. Bye-bye. All right, guys. I am done for today, so I'll be back in about 10 minutes for our study group time. So until then,